You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. We got a lot to cover today. I wanted to start, though, talking about this thing with Katie Hobbs. Let me read through this story in trending politics. I know this is all over social media, and a lot of people are talking about this. And here's the headline. Katie Hobbs has stepped down as governor for a day, and no one knows why. Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs has withdrawn from her position for the day, leaving the chattering class to speculate about her reasons and whether she would return to work ready to fill some of the positions that her temporary successor is saying are in desperate need of attention. The treasurer of Arizona, Kimberly Yee, Wednesday night posted on Twitter that she'd be filling in as acting governor, saying she's pleased to step into the role without giving an explanation. She added her hope that Hobbs would appoint 13 agency directors upon her return. Hobbs did not respond for a request for comment about stepping down for a year. She's a big anti-Trump guy. Or woman, I should say. I said guy. Well, she might as well be. I mean, she's a governor. Okay. Katie Hobbs is one of the most disliked Democrats in the country outside of Washington. Okay. A lot of we don't like in Washington. And Twitter is going nuts about why did Katie Hobbs step down. This would be my guess. Okay. Typically, who pays attention to governors doing this? It usually happens with presidents. And they will allow someone to temporarily assume the office when they're going under full anesthesia and they're not going to be awake, okay? My guess is Katie Hobbs is having some surgery that she doesn't want people to know about. It could be something embarrassing, like cosmetic surgery. She could have one of those.
I doubt it's cosmetic because that would be obvious.
Well, it depends on what kind of cosmetic it is.
Hysterectomy, it could be anything.
Well,
so it's her private business.
No, not when you're a public person
you think you have to tell the public everything?
When you are like her, who is a very public person, very anti-Trump, she's very nasty with everyone. She could very well could be having cosmetic surgery. It just may be a surgery she doesn't want to brag about, like one of those vagina reshaping things that some women do. She could be having that kind of thing done. She could be having cancer surgery. She's having some type of surgery that involves full anesthesia. And
that could be anything.
Well,
she could have a brain tumor, for all we know.
Well, yeah. And if she's having a serious...
I don't know why your head goes to the vagina place, but I guess because you're a guy, so that's... where guys' heads go. That wasn't my first thought.
Kathy, Katie Hobbs' vagina is not my first thought. Believe me, I don't think many men would put that at the top of the.
I hope not.
But what I mean is, she's having some type of surgery she doesn't want people to know about. Would be my guess, with full anesthesia, and it is everyone's. It is everyone's business.
Well, I think she should come out and say, "I'm having surgery." But she doesn't have to disclose exactly what it is. I think some things should be private, and as long as it doesn't affect her job.
No. If she is having surgery that requires anesthesia, it could very well be cancer, something like that, and she owes it to people to tell them what it is. It has a lot to do with her fitness for office, and her not revealing it.
If she was older, I would agree with you, but
she's older.
She's not Biden's age.
Well, very few people are.
Well,
Biden's
I'm saying if she was 80, 85, then I'd say, yeah, we need to know because obviously there's a lot of things that can go wrong at that age. But she's relatively young. I mean, she's in her 40s, I'm assuming her 50s. And
no, she's hiding something.
I think she should come out, though, and say she's having surgery.
She's hiding
at least
something.
Tell people a little bit. Obviously, she's hiding something.
She's hiding something?
Yeah.
And it's very unusual for a governor to do this. There was that one governor who went to Indonesia to meet his mistress or something. Remember that years ago? And then, and nobody even knew. No. Something's going on here, and it is.
Well, what are people speculating? Are they going to the vagina like you, or what are other people thinking?
No one. I'm the only one speculating on the surgery that I've seen. Everyone keeps asking why. What could be going on? What is happening here?
I don't know what else it could be other than a surgery where you're incapacitated. What else could it be for?
She won't say what it's for. and her office won't say. She won't say. The acting governor will not say. And when you're high profile and you do something like this, okay, and you won't say what it's for,
it's got to be for surgery.
People are going to speculate.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's probably surgery.
It's gotta be.
And people need to know what kind of surgery it is. And if it's something serious and she has health issues, people got a right to know. She's a governor, and she's a controversial governor, and she's an anti-Trump governor, and she's a nasty person.
I mean, it could be a mastectomy. Could be anything. I mean, it could be any kind of thing where you're sedate or, under anesthesia could just runs a huge gamut of possibilities. So I think she should come out and say something that's happening and not be just totally quiet about it. I don't know if I agree she should disclose every little detail.
Oh, yeah. When you're the governor, absolutely. If our governor, Ron DeSanctimonious here, if he relinquished his role as governor for a day to the lieutenant governor and didn't tell anyone,
well, they got to give a reason.
People would be speculating, and they should speculate. This is something you should reveal. So you guys let us know in the comments why you think she stepped down for a day and why she's hiding it. If there's some other possibilities that are realistic other than surgery with full anesthesia, let us know. But that's my thought. Now,
are they required, if they're under full anesthesia, they're required to step down temporarily, right? Didn't they haven't presidents done that when they've had surgery?
President's different because they're got the nuclear football and stuff.
Is the governor required to do that?
I don't know. And every state's different. So it doesn't, who knows. Now, this impeachment inquiry that began today, let me tell you, Jonathan Turley, I used to like that guy. Even though I'm done with Fox, Jonathan Turley always has interesting legal analysis of the issues. And Turley was one of the guys that was testifying today in this House hearing. And what they did today in this committee, which is really annoying. I hate congressional committee hearings. I really do. They brought in, the Democrats brought in legal experts, professors, and the Republicans brought in Turley, right? They each had their side. And Jonathan Turley said that there is not enough evidence to bring an impeachment against Joe Biden. It just was reported the day before yesterday through Comer and his committee that Beijing, when Biden was running for president, wired $250,000 in Hunter's name, but to Joe Biden's home address when he was in the basement running for president. Okay, that's not the only thing. When I saw Jonathan Turley today say there's not enough evidence to bring an impeachment up against Joe Biden and his entire family have these shady deals of fake jobs that they've gotten through his connections. They live like multi-millionaires because they are. And Joe Biden has done nothing his entire life but work for the government as in the Senate and then as vice president. His lifestyle is far and above his salary level. He is a crook. If you guys remember Goodfellas, right? In Goodfellas, which was based on true story, Robert De Niro and Ray Liotta and their gang did that Lufthansa heist at the airport, millions of dollars. And De Niro said, don't go out and buy things. And then they did. One guy bought a Cadillac. Another guy got a mink coat for his wife. He says, they're going to bust us. You got to take all this stuff back. Biden's lifestyle is so far above his income level that that alone is worth, like Donald Trump is a multi-billionaire, and we know how. Real estate deals, clubs like Mar-a-Lago, hotels, The Apprentice. He made $250 million off The Apprentice, right? I mean, so we know how he made his money. How did Joe Biden become a multimillionaire? Through crooked deals. And when I saw Turley today, Turley is a textbook example of what is wrong with Fox News. Fox News is fake news. They're the worst of all because they pretend to be something that they are not. Dana
Perino just introduced Hillary Clinton at an event and said she was amazing.
What?
Yeah.
Dana Perino.
I just retweeted earlier.
What?
Yeah, she called her amazing.
Why was she introducing Hillary Clinton at an event? Dana Perino.
Good question.
But you know why? Because she's in with the Bushes, and the Bushes are friends with the Clintons.
I'll find it and I'll play it for you.
Well, let me text it to me, and then I'll play it because I got a better speaker on my phone.
Gotta find
Okay.
it in your thread.
But
Well,
I'll
look
play
for
it over
while
my
you're
phone.
talking, yeah.
But Dana Perino, I would introduce Hillary Clinton, but I wouldn't introduce her as that.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, text it to me, and then I'll play it. I would have some things to say that aren't complimentary like Dana Perino. I mean, that's outrageous. Hillary Clinton is a terrible, terrible person. She worked hard to destroy the lives
and
of
Hillary Clinton has shrunk because Dana Perino's short. She's like 5'1".
Yeah.
And they're exactly the same height.
Hillary Clinton, when a woman would come forward and say they were victimized by her husband, Hillary Clinton would go out and destroy the life and reputation of that woman.
Yeah. She had her own cancel culture going on there.
She's like the founder of cancel culture. Okay, hold on. Let me just pull this up. Hold on a second. This is you just text. This is Dana Perino introducing a criminal, Hillary Clinton.
With someone that you're here to see, the amazing Secretary Hillary Clinton. Here she is.
Wow. And she is speaking at the Clinton Global Initiative. Mm-hmm. So Dana Perino, she may be getting paid by the Clintons to do something like that.
Of course she is. She probably had lunch with Hillary in the Hamptons.
Let me tell you this, okay? And just in general, this shows you everything about the Uniparty. The Bushes are friends with the Clintons, very close, tight, personal friends. Dana Perino has all of her connections through the Bushes, and that's how this happens. But forgetting about the Bushes and the Clintons, in general, Republicans and Democrats should not be fraternizing like this.
They've always fraternized. We just are realizing this. This is not new. This is the Uniparty that Tucker and everybody talks about. They're all friends.
Permanent Washington.
They all hang out together, and they decide everything behind the closed doors. They're not going to impeach Biden. This is a dog and pony show we're watching on TV right now.
Well,
it's going to go nowhere.
This thing with Hillary and Dana Perino, okay? Democrats believe in abortion on demand, affirmative action, no southern border. I mean, you can have this list. They support the military-industrial complexes, war in Ukraine with Russia. That's all about money. There's no meeting of the minds between Republicans and Democrats, and they want us to do away with oil, cars that run on gasoline. They don't want those around anymore. So if you're a Republican, you don't honor a Democrat that way. There's no Democrat that deserves that kind of honor and recognition from a Republican. Oh, especially Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
But any Democrat in general, any Republican that introduces a Democrat like that, except Bobby Kennedy Jr. because he's a little different. But other than Robert Kennedy Jr., any Republican who introduces a Democrat with respect like that, especially Hillary Clinton, but any Democrat like Perino did, it's unfortunate we don't have like an excommunication process to take people's Republican registration away from them. I wish we did.
Well, I'll correct you. These people don't believe in anything other than enriching themselves. They don't believe in anything on the issues. They just tell their voters what they want to hear.
That's right.
And they use it to stay in power. I bet there's half the Democrats are pro-life or half Republicans are pro-choice. They just say what they have to say to get reelected.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. All these people, all they care about is money and power, and they'll do whatever they have to do. Once you're in that world, you do whatever you have to do to maintain it and to keep it. And look what happened to Madison Cawthorn. When you speak outside of turn, you're done. That's the way it goes. If he would have kept quiet about that thing with the orgy, he would still be in office. But he talked about it, and they made sure he didn't get reelected. And that's what they do. They're all working together. And I wonder, though, if Fox had her do this, like as kind of a way to let people know. Hold on, Rupert Murdoch just stepped down. His son's taken over, and she is she's a rhino, but she's a so-called Republican.
Dana Perino.
And I'm assuming she has to get all her speaking engagements, approved.
Yeah.
By Fox. She's a big contract with them. She's on multiple shows. She's on The Morning, and with Bill Hemmer, she's on The 5.
Yeah.
I almost think they let her do it, or they wanted her to do it to kind of let people know Fox is in with the Clintons.
Well,
and we want people to know they're in with the Clintons. Like they want the CNN audience now.
The thing with Hillary Clinton, okay?
Do you agree?
Yeah, I would not.
They're going after a new audience.
Yeah, I would not hold a woman accountable for her husband's problems other than Hillary Clinton, because Hillary Clinton was part of a team to, like I said, to destroy the lives of Bill Clinton's victims. So she destroyed the reputation of a rape victim, Juanita Broderick. Paula Jones got her lip bloodied.
Yeah, but what do you think about what I said?
I'll get to that. And all the other women. Kathleen Willey was groped in the White House by Bill Clinton after her husband passed away. She went to President Clinton for help for a job, and he groped her. And Hillary Clinton, and there's many others, and Hillary Clinton went on to try to destroy the lives of these women, and in many ways was successful in doing it. So for Dana Perino to go and honor someone who's a criminal like that's disgusting. I agree with you that Fox News did this.
Yeah, I think they did it, and it's all over Twitter. And I think they're trying to go after CNN's audience. They've lost us, and they're unwatchable. The clips I watch 5 or 10 minutes here and there, just to tune into the news, see what's going on. And all they talk about is the shoplifting and the border. That's pretty much it. They never, ever talk about Trump. Very, very, very rarely now, which I knew would happen after the debate.
Yeah.
They're trying to. I think Trump has changed people's, including mine, expectations of media. He made it so interesting and exciting, and now it's like dull.
Yeah.
But they could do so many other things. Like I watch News Nation with Marnie sometimes during the day, and they do cover a lot of different stories. They do true crime. They do more things that are happening in the news. But I mostly watch local news now. But Fox could do some other things. They could make it more interesting if they wanted to, but they're just hung up on politics. And I think them having her introduce Hillary, I could be wrong, but I think it was arranged. And I think they wanted her to do it because they want the people that watch the Clinton News Network to start coming over to them and be like, oh, she's in with the Clintons.
That's possible.
Well, then I guess we can start watching Fox now.
Well, listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, there's a lot more to talk about. Don't go anywhere. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll be right back.
Coffee lovers, have you been on a quest for the ultimate coffee experience? Imagining that perfect cup? Your search is over thanks to Bean Crazy Coffee. With Bean Crazy Coffee, every sip will feel like a crafted journey. Bean Crazy Coffee have a wide range of handcrafted flavors. You'll journey through organic, low-acid brews and indulge in the heavenly Gordon's Caramel Roll, a tribute steeped in sentiment dedicated to the owner of Bean Crazy Coffee's father. What sets them apart is that Bean Crazy Coffee isn't just a brand, it's an experience. As a boutique roastery, they pride themselves on their artisanal small batch magic, the art of slow roasting. The process takes the organic bean and turns it into the silkiest, least acidic, most tantalizing coffee you've ever tasted. And for you decaf lovers, their decaf is full of flavor and it's all natural. Are you ready for a brew that's been passionately crafted for true coffee connoisseurs? This is the coffee you've always dreamed of. Visit beancrazy.com and elevate your coffee moments. Order your cup of perfection today. beancrazy.com. Have you stumbled upon old VHS tapes that are filled with heartwarming family memories? Where can you find a VCR to watch them? And if you did, how would you hook it up to a modern television? Don't let those memories gather dust. Introducing Our Memories in Motion, your one-stop solution for transforming those precious tapes into lasting digital treasures. They bring memories to life and make them last forever. With a commitment to excellence and unparalleled customer service, Our Memories in Motion make the transition smooth and effortless. Your cherished moments are safe with them. Are you ready to relive those good times? Visit MemorableDVD.com and get started right now. Our Memories in Motion, where past meets present. MemorableDVD.com. From author Philip Maxwell comes an epic journey into a world of deviance and deception, where one young man's quest for his father leads to a battle that has raged for centuries. The Legend of Surt, available on Amazon. In The Legend of Surt, meet Alvin, a determined young man who embarks on a perilous journey, leaving behind everything he knows and loves. But his path will be filled with bloody battles and mythical beasts. As he searches for his father, he must confront his inner demons and conquer them before before they consume him. Along the way, he encounters unforgettable characters who join him in his quest. Together, they form an unbreakable bond and unite against the sinister Sons of Suns, an organization that has spread terror across the land for far too long. Will Alvin emerge victorious and finally put an end to the suffering that plagues their world? Find out when you read The Legend of Surt from author Philip Maxwell. Order your copy right now on Amazon.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. So this came out yesterday. Tucker Carlson's next interview is with Bill O'Reilly. And I know a lot of people may not think that sounds all that interesting.
That might be good.
This is very interesting. He released a promo reel, which I watched, which was interesting. He asked very interesting questions. But Tucker Carlson was let go by Fox almost 6 years to the day after they let go Bill O'Reilly. And Bill O'Reilly, regardless of whatever excuses they have, Bill O'Reilly and Tucker were both let go for the same reason. They couldn't control them.
Right.
Okay. And I wish Bill O'Reilly was about 20 years younger than he is now because he's getting older. And
I think with some of those women, I almost feel like, Bill O'Reilly seems kind of like old school. He's an older guy, and maybe he made little quips and comments. I almost feel like he was set up by Fox, and women were put in his way and maybe flirted with him and made him feel it was safe to make those comments to entrap him. I almost feel like that happened, but it'll be a good interview if they really spill the tea on Fox.
This is the thing, okay? We all know that the cable news cycle's done. It's done.
Yeah.
And the couple of things that have done it is, one, Fox dropping Tucker. That was the beginning of the end. And now these Republican debates that are just stupid.
Oh my gosh.
These Republican debates have the lowest ratings ever that these primary debates have had in modern history. And they're not relevant, and they're not interesting, and no one cares about them. And they're making themselves irrelevant.
Mm-hmm.
And because there's the new media, like what we're doing, what Tucker's doing, and others, their dominance on the messaging is over, and it's always going to be a downward spiral. There is no way for the mainstream corporate media to regain its influence or popularity.
I think Trump's changed media forever.
Oh yeah,
just like we were talking last night. You went to Publix to get something for Emily or something.
Publix is the big grocery chain.
Yeah,
in
Publix
Florida.
is the big chain, and you said that it has totally changed since COVID. They have all automated checkers out, the checkout girls. They have 2, and they used to have 10. Now it's all automated, and everything's Instacart. They have huge freezers in the front of every store now where the Instacart people, we use Instacart, store the food. Because what happened is during COVID, like us, people started doing grocery delivery because you didn't want to risk, going out, whatever, what they told you. And now it changes. People get used to that. And there's, this is more convenient for me. It might be an extra $10, but I like doing it this way. And it's stuck. And I think that's what's happening with Trump. He's changed the media so much and they talked about Trump so much that now that they stopped talking about Trump, you're like, well, this isn't the same. This is boring. This is unwatchable now. I mean, he has really changed the media forever.
What's happened?
People got used to hearing about him all the time.
What's happened in every aspect of our society since COVID is everything has gone into people's phones. Like your chances are, I do surveys sometimes with the audience on how they listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
And most people listen over their phone. Now, their phone may be on Bluetooth in their car, but most people listen on their phone either with their AirPods on or on the Bluetooth of their car that are listening on podcast platforms.
I listen. Well, I watch you on the radio, on the TV, in the morning. But yeah, I guess that makes sense because
I'm not talking about YouTube. I'm talking about
this is a podcast.
Yeah, YouTube's different.
Yeah, people do listen on YouTube though. We get a lot of views on this too.
Yeah, but on the podcast platforms, so everyone's into their phone now, and that's what Tucker's doing. That's what Megan. See, what had happened was
it's not as visual.
There's a lot of people like me out there, but what's happened with Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson, these were two A-listers in media that were let go by the mainstream media. And in the old days, they would just have to retire. And now because of these platforms. And when I say there's really not a lot of people like me either, because what happened with me, this is, what is this, the 11th or 12th? What year is this of the podcast?
11th.
The 11th year of the podcast. And you guys know I've been on the air for over 30 years. When many years ago, it was 11 years ago, is when we started doing the podcast, and when all of the new technology started becoming popular, podcasting, live streaming and stuff. Even though I'm on the radio, I started doing that. I started podcasting. I started doing live streaming, and I live stream now on YouTube, but I've live streamed. I tried many different platforms to live stream on, and YouTube is the one I like the best. And I Periscope. There was all kinds of things. I used to be on Facebook Live. Those of you guys that remember the Liberty Eagle.
Oh yeah.
That on Facebook Live. But what I've always done is embraced the new technology and the new platforms, and when new things come along, I incorporate it. And what's happened with the traditional corporate media is they think they're embracing the new stuff, but they're not. And Megyn
Kelly, like you said, she does Sirius. She's on YouTube, and you can listen to YouTube on your phone. You don't have to watch it. And Fox has lost all of their heavy hitters. They lost O'Reilly, Megyn Kelly, and Tucker. Those were all their primetime people. Well, they're all gone, and now their lineup's weak.
And now that
very weak.
Now that they've left, they're more influential.
Absolutely,
than
because they can say whatever they want.
Yeah, they're more influential than when they were on the traditional media. And Tucker's the interesting one, because Tucker, he's still under contract with Fox. Okay, they haven't fired him; they just took him off the air. He's in negotiations. And his thing on Twitter, he's got a loophole that allows him to do things so long as he's not compensated, and that's how he's doing Twitter. And so
they're paying him for all this. It's hilarious.
They're paying for his Twitter show, yeah.
It's hilarious.
And Tucker is working on some big media deal. We don't know the details of it yet. And when he gets out of his contract, that's going to be fascinating what he does.
His thing is the daily.
He hasn't been with them for years. When he started,
he's not with the Daily Caller anymore.
No, when he started doing the full-time primetime show on Fox, he divested himself from that.
See, I think he's going to have like a media empire, like Daily Wire, like
it's going to be somehow based.
Glenn Beck
it's going to be based around Twitter, I think, because the number of viewers he has, he can't monetize it because he has a contract with Fox.
Right.
But the number of viewers he has on his Twitter show are astronomical. That guy he interviewed from Argentina, that had more views than the Trump interview, because I guess Latin America, it's a big thing. I don't know why it had more views, but it'll have something to do with that. And the traditional media are just done. And this election, I think, will be the last election that has debates. The era of the debate is the only reason that there have been debates and they've become the norm is because of when television came in is when they started doing these.
So now that
debates.
Television's kind of out,
that's it.
Yeah.
And the televised debates are out. There's too many outlets now that people can go to. They can't control the messaging. The thing
it's more about, you're right. There's so much more people can listen to. It's not like the old days where, you had certain, even when cable came around, it was still limited. And now we have TV and social media and YouTube and podcasts. I mean, it's almost too much. I mean, it's really a fight for everybody's attention. And I think Fox, like I said, they were so Trump focused, and CNN too. But CNN still talks about Trump, but their ratings are awful right now. I think it's a combination. It's a combination of people not trusting the news anymore. That's a huge part of it. When Trump coined it fake news, and the whole Russia thing, And even liberals were like, we've been lied to for 2 years. This is all BS. And do they not do their homework? Or, I think it's the lack of trust in what you're being told.
Yeah.
And I think that also it's that they are being too editorial and limiting their hosts on too much on what they can and can't say. You used to work for a big radio company. You work for Clear Channel. And I remember you tell me every show, practically somebody would come in and tell you can't say this, you can't say that. You don't have that problem anymore because you and Steve pretty much do your own thing and you don't have those issues. But when you work for a big media conglomerate like that, they're so worried about getting sued, and they're so worried. They have teams of lawyers, and all they are consumed with is liabilities and not getting sued by people and slander and this and that. And they're so worried about their audience losing interest, or they live and die by those, like Megyn Kelly said.
What it's more about. It's not so much that, Kathy. These big companies, what they do, they're involved in many different businesses,
right? And
they don't want things out there that'll be in conflict with some other business unrelated to the television or news, whatever it is. So they want to have a lot of control, and now. The only editorial control is from the audience. What do you guys want to hear?
Right,
and
that's true because there's so many more options.
Yeah, and Fox News and the traditional media don't care what you want to hear. They have this arrogance that they'll put on what they want and you'll watch it. And there's got to be the people that work at Fox, like Greg Gutfeld and others. They've got to be panicked.
It used to be about
very concerned. They have these huge salaries.
Yeah.
And their audience is evaporated.
Do you think that people still are drawn to the personality as they used to be? Or I think so but they follow that personality where they go. Like people follow Tucker. So they must be still drawn to the personality, because when that personality gets fired, they're like, really, people are upset and they won't watch the network anymore.
Yeah.
So people must still be really attached to the personality that's telling them things. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I've never seen anybody, when Bill O'Reilly got fired, you didn't see this boycott of Fox. And he was big. And you didn't see that. There was no outrage really by the audience. They kept watching.
Well, but the thing with Bill O'Reilly is Bill O'Reilly wasn't – people watched him and liked the show, but he wasn't likable like Tucker. Tucker's more likable.
You think – yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think
plus they know that he got fired for his opinions.
Well, in particular – Tucker was let go because of the January 6th coverage when he got the tapes.
He was revealing the truth.
And so that was,
yes.
That's why he's had such support.
That flipped him out.
When he left Tucker, or when Bill O'Reilly got pushed out, was during that whole Roger Ailes sexual harassment stuff.
Right, so he was kind of dismissed in disgrace.
But what I'm curious about with this Tucker interview with Bill O'Reilly, what I'm curious about is, will they do a 3-person panel, Tucker, Bill O'Reilly, and Megyn Kelly, because they all had that slot on Fox, because Megyn Kelly kind of was behind the scenes, manipulated the ouster of Roger Ailes, right?
And probably Bill O'Reilly.
And I'm wondering about that. I'm wondering if Bill O'Reilly likes Megyn Kelly or not.
She went through this whole man-hating phase, where, and I think she's maybe outgrown it a little bit, or maybe she's been able to look back.
Well, Bill O'Reilly might blame her for him being tossed out of Fox.
Yeah, well, he's certainly not going to blame himself.
But I wanted to mention, though, I'd forgotten this in the last segment. We were talking about Dana Perino and Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton was like best buds with Harvey Weinstein. I would not associate with someone that was associating with Harvey Weinstein after all this stuff about him.
She's married to someone who was accused of rape, so she associates with him. Mm-hmm. And that's her husband, so she obviously has low morals.
Exactly. Now, I want to take a moment to thank all of our Patreon supporters. Thank you so much, guys. And if you would like to become a patron of the program, there's a link in the episode description. You click that link, and it'll walk you through on how to become a Patreon supporter. Our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you shout-out on every podcast episode. So the names you'll hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, ETW, Chuck, D, Pamela, Rick, Nick, Wesley, Macho, Rome, Wisconsin, Mike P., Carlos, Paulette, John, Arctic Fox, Heather, David, Richard, Melissa, and Maria in Texas. These are our top Patreon supporters. Thank you all for your support. We'll be right back.
Parents, grandparents, and teachers, how would you like to introduce your children to the fascinating world of databases and coding? The Amazon #1 new release in children's computer programming, SQL Quest, A Journey Through Data, from computer programmer and author Neha Sani, is now available for pre-order on Amazon. In SQL Quest, young readers will encounter clever creatures, solve mind-bending riddles, and unveil the secrets of data using the mighty power of SQL. It's an interactive book to becoming an SQL wizard. It's filled with engaging stories. Readers can follow the captivating adventures of Data, query the princesses and their friends as they explore the enchanting kingdom of databases. There's challenging puzzles so readers can put their skills to the test, with fun hands-on challenges that will have them mastering SQL in no time. Children will explore how SQL is used in the real world, from managing magical libraries to tracking treasure chests. It's an easy-to-understand language, so kids don't need to be a computer wizard to conquer SQL. SQL Quest breaks down complex concepts into simple kid-friendly terms, making learning a breeze. Whether your child dreams of becoming a data explorer, a coding whiz, or just wants to have a blast with their computer, SQL Quest, A Journey Through Data, is the perfect book for them. The author's goal is to ignite young minds, empower girls in tech, and share the magic of coding with the world. SQL Quest, A Journey Through Data, from computer programmer and author Neha Sani, is available for pre-order on Amazon. Are you struggling to find that peaceful sleep? Do you need to unwind, meditate, relax? Look no further than Get Some Z's on YouTube. Get Some Z's is your ticket to serenity and tranquility. With Get Some Z's on YouTube, you'll be immersed into a world of soothing sounds, rainfall, thunder, crackling fireplaces, streams, and even rainy days. Get Some Z's on YouTube adds new sounds all the time, so you'll find the perfect soundscape for your journey to dreamland. Find Get Some Z's on YouTube. Just search Get Some Z's. That's 3 Z's and S. Make sure you subscribe and share on all your social media so your friends can get some Z's too. Get Some Z's. That's 3 Z's and S. What are you waiting for? Get that restful peace that you've been searching for. Go to YouTube and search Get Some Z's. That's 3 Z's and S. Get Some Z's on YouTube, your YouTube sleep channel. When it comes to fashion and beauty, there's only one brand you need, and that's Seem. C-E-E-E-M. The triple E stand for extraordinary, exquisite, and elegant. Seem isn't just a brand. It's a symbol of luxury, excellence, and style. It's about living life extraordinarily. Whatever you're looking for, they have it. From beauty items including beard care, cosmetic bags, foot, hair, and nail care, makeup, skincare, and so much more. But that's not all. Seem offers a wide range of clothing for men, women, and kids. They also have jewelry, sunglasses, watches, and even special occasion items for Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, and more. Embrace that Friday feeling and start shopping right now online at seem-us.com. C-E-E-E-M. Elevate your fashion, enhance your beauty, and embrace the extraordinary with Seem. Don't miss out and experience the difference. In today's complex world of finance, securing and growing your wealth hinges on one powerful strategy: diversifying your financial assets. From author Oscar Hernandez comes the book Money Diversification, available on Amazon. In this must-read book, the author demystifies money diversification, revealing its crucial role in building a robust investment portfolio, and covers a wide range of asset classes from stocks and bonds to retirement accounts and alternative investments. Whether you're a beginner or seasoned investor, Money Diversification will provide you with valuable insights into asset allocation principles as well as strategies. You'll learn how to manage risk and optimize returns while exploring the pros and cons of various investment avenues. You'll discover how to construct a diversified portfolio tailored to your unique objectives and risk tolerance levels. Order your copy of this invaluable resource today, Money Diversification, from author Oscar Hernandez, on Amazon, and start your journey to financial empowerment and success.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. So this Republican pathetic debate on Fox last night, it was hosted by Dana Perino, Stuart Varney, and this lady I've never heard of before from Univision, okay? And she's an anti-American, racist, okay? She doesn't like white people. There's a great article in Newsbusters about her, and here's the headline: Second GOP debate marred by Univision moderators' anti-American hate and lies. And I think her hate is not just anti-American. I think it's racism. She doesn't like white people. And I'm going to read through this article. But she began the debate on Fox News, and they began it in Spanish. I mean, what is that about? They're running. They're not running for the president of a Spanish country. Let me read through this article. The second GOP presidential primary debate was a case study in why the Republican Party shouldn't award debate moderation privileges to hostile and dishonest members of the liberal media. Fox Business occupied two of the moderator positions, Varney and Perino. The third was given to Univision anchor Elia Calderon. Her questions were by far the most anti-American and dishonest, ranging from lies about gun violence, etc. Okay, and a question directed towards the North Dakota governor, this is Burgum, Calderon said this: mental health concerns are not unique to the United States, but gun violence is. Really, there's no gun violence in Mexico?
Give me a break. You know, in South America in general?
I was watching a YouTube video. Some of you may be familiar with Casey Neistat on YouTube. He's a big YouTuber. He's one of the original big YouTube stars. He's very big. His brother, Van Neistat, has a YouTube channel. And Van Neistat, Casey Neistat's brother, drove from California to Mexico with his wife and kid. They enter Mexico, and the cartels robbed them with rifles, okay? They pulled them over at gunpoint and robbed them, and that's with guns, all right? That's gun violence. Then she asked about the Black History Month. This was Florida's new Black History curriculum says slaves develop skills which in some instances could be applied for their personal benefit. You have said slaves develop skills in spite of slavery, not because of it, but many are still hurt. For descendants of slaves, this is personal. What's your message to them, she asked DeSantis. Every question is in a negative. Then this was another thing she said. Mexico's president called who supports sending U.S. military into the country scoundrels. Mexico is the United States' most important trade partner in border security. So that means boots on the ground and drone strikes in Mexico? Yeah. You know, we have attacks going on against the United States by Mexico through fentanyl, through people and all this trafficking. Whatever it takes to take out the drug cartel. She's defending the cartels.
Yeah, well,
and taking responsibility away from them. You know, Fox News, it's really a shame. It really is a shame. Yeah. I used to be such a fan and supporter of
what's happened
Fox
is,
News.
like I said, they've lost all their top people. And Hannity's a joke. Jesse Waters is a frat boy. Laura Ingraham, she's another one who's just doesn't really say much. They lost their people that actually, you know, had something interesting to say and that actually would challenge things. And sometimes, like Tucker, Bill O'Reilly, sometimes Megyn Kelly, those people are gone. And I think losing those three over the last 5 years or so has really hurt the network because they're so vanilla now. You know, those were some of the people that made, you know, Melissa Francis, and they've gotten rid of everybody that was good. And now it's so boring to watch, and it's so vanilla, and it's like nobody cares. Dana Perino sucks. I have made no secret about it. I can't stand her. She's awful. She's not even a journalist. I don't know. Is she a journalist? Maybe. I don't even know. She's awful. No. I don't know why she's even on the network. She's connected, I guess. She is so boring. She treats Bill Hemmer like it's her 5-year-old kid. I can't stand her. And to have her, and I like Stuart Varney, but he's not what is he? I don't know. I don't even watch him anymore. But they have people on that nobody's going to challenge this woman or say, I don't know why they brought this Telemundo on. They're all into that. Univision, I mean, whatever. They've done that before. They had that Jose guy on that really hated Trump. That guy that was like 5 feet tall, Fauci's twin brother.
Well, this woman that was on the debate last night is his co-host.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to me. People, back in when we were kids, there were a lot of people in our families that were immigrants that came here from all over. And I always heard, my friends' grandparents or my grandparents, and they were always saying good things about America. This is the best country. I'm so happy to be here. This and that. You don't hear that anymore from these other people in the news.
No.
I mean, they're at least on the news back in the day, even if it was liberal, it was patriotic and they loved America. There's this whole, or at least they outwardly did, there's this whole anti-American sentiment that's gone mainstream now. And it's really upsetting to me. And I don't know why they just sat there and let her talk that way. Did anybody on the debate stage even challenge her for what she was saying? Or are they so busy and consumed with Trump that they can't even think straight?
Exactly. Now, listen to this story here. This is an example of what Biden's bringing to this. This is in the New York Post, and it involves the illegals that have gone to New York that have been sent there. A 35-year-old, this is in today's New York Post. This just came up a little bit ago. A 34-year-old migrant man, that means illegal, molested a 7-year-old girl at knife point at a Queens hotel housing asylum seekers after he lured the child and her twin sister to his room. The sisters, asylum seekers staying at the Hotel Mint JFK Airport in Far Rockaway with their family, were playing in the hallway around 9:30 p.m. when the sicko convinced them to follow him to a room on the second floor. He placed a knife against the neck of one of the girls and touched her, the sources say. When the twins' mother knocked on the door, he jumped out of the window. He walked back into the building through the lobby where he was confronted by the young victim's older brother. They fought. Cops broke up the brawl. So, remember when President Trump said
a whole new element
they're not
here.
Sending their best, they're sending rapists, they're sending
Yep.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
And how many not just crimes, how many sex crimes against young girls do you hear about from these groups of people? That one high-profile 10-year-old girl they try to get that they were got the abortion for, right? After Roe v. Wade.
Yeah. She
She was 10 years old, and she was she was an illegal, and she was impregnated by another illegal, an adult man. There is so much molestation. This is beyond rape. This is child molestation and violent rape against little girls under the age of 12. And there's hardly a day goes by that you don't see a story like that in the news. How many don't make the news? And Biden is allowing this to happen. The Democrats are allowing this to happen. These are sick
Well, Biden's
people.
not allowing anything. He's not in charge. He just shuffles around and makes a speech occasionally, and then he goes back to eating his Jell-O. With God knows what, with his nurse.
I'm not so sure, Kathy.
No, I think Obama and Susan Rice are running the country, and I think they're very radicalized, and I think Obama is doing all the things he could never do when he was president because he was too worried about public opinion. But now that Biden is the face of the party and he's the president, they can do whatever the hell they want, and he takes all the heat for it.
Maybe.
That's what a lot of people feel. I mean, he's so checked out. I don't think he knows half the stuff that's going on. They clearly don't want to fix the border because it's so easy to fix. You just close it. Boom. End of discussion. I mean, you could do it in a day. Like Trump said, you just close the gates, lock it, and you stop letting people in. I mean, it's not brain surgery. They clearly don't want to do that. And I don't understand why these people that live in these cities, I promise you, these people in New York, LA, Philadelphia, wherever, they're going to keep voting Democrat. They will never stop voting Democrat, even though they sit there and whine and complain and bitch and moan on TV about the illegals. They're going to still vote blue because they can't seem to make that connection. Gee, maybe I should stop voting for Democrats and maybe my city will stop being a total shithole like it has been for the last 30 years. I mean, Trump kind of tapped into that a little bit. He said, what do you have to lose? You're living in a dump. The Democrats are running these places, Baltimore, whatever. Vote for a conservative and maybe things will change for you. And that really resonated with a lot of people. But let's see what happens with the next election cycle with this rampant crime and this influx of illegals. Let's see if New York does go red, New York City, or if people keep voting for these Democrats in office that do absolutely. Mayor Adams, he seems to have given up now, and he's now housing these people and making accommodation. For a while, he was like, oh, we got to stop this, and this is a mess. And now he's like, oh, we welcome them here. I mean, he doesn't know what's going on.
Well,
he's towing the party line again.
It's amazing to me that the Democrat Party, who obsess over slavery that ended 150 plus years ago, and all the horrors of that, have a replay of it going on with what's going on at the southern border.
They don't make that connection. They think they're two totally different things.
There's a slave trade going on,
Yep.
a sex slave trade. There is a labor slave trade.
They don't see them as the same because what happened to the black people in their mind is unique, special to that, and this is not the same thing. But there was a story.
It's very similar.
There's been stories on our local news of migrant children that are being used as slave labor in restaurants, especially that are 11, 10 years old.
When we look back at slavery in this country, it's hard for people to even fathom that something like that happened in the United States. And I agree, it's hard
now. Like
it's hard to believe that something like that happened, but it's happening now. And if you speak out about it, the Democrats call you a bigot.
That's right. That's probably why a lot of people didn't speak out about it back in the 1700s. Maybe if people in the South spoke out against it, they were ostracized and canceled too.
It's a different type of slavery. Okay, the slavery from that era of the past would not be acceptable today in this country. This is as close to that slavery as you could possibly get away with in today's society. It is what's going on at the southern border is an attack on the country, no doubt, but it's also a slave passage. And this story.
Yeah, it's like the Caribbean used to be. That's how they brought in the slaves from Africa. They would bring them in through the Caribbean to the islands, and then they would sell them off there. And that's what's happening here at the border. And then they branch out into the rest of the country.
The story of this 7-year-old girl raped by this illegal girl, raped by an illegal. That story's not unique. It happens all of the time. Yep. Every day you find stories in the news around the country, okay, of illegals committing not just crime, but violent crimes against people, rape, murder, strong-arm crimes, gun crime, all kinds of crimes. None of these crimes should be happening. It is a slave trade because these people are being brought here for work of different kinds, and that's the way it is.
They openly talk about that. Who's going to pick the fruit? Who's going to clean your toilet?
Exactly.
Who's going to this? Who's going to that? They openly advocate for that with these people and how they benefit the economy. Look, nobody is saying that you don't want to have immigrants come in, but this is a level that we cannot sustain.
Well,
it's got to get under control.
What has to happen is, Trump's got to come back in 2024, and that'll stop it. But Republicans, messaging is important, okay? And just saying the border isn't secure, that doesn't. We have to start calling it what it is. It is a 21st century slave passage and slave trade that's going on.
And an invasion.
And we have to call it what it is and define it as that and highlight these terrible crimes like this so people can understand what is going on. And this idea that they're all refugees from Venezuela is a lie. See, if you cross the border and you say you're from Venezuela, you automatically get status here because of the government turmoil down there. Mm-hmm. So everyone says they're either from Cuba or Venezuela because then they get that asylum status.
Yeah, and don't think people aren't telling them to say that.
Mm-hmm. Now, today I want to tell you guys, we got our delivery, a big semi-truck pulled up in front of our house today and delivered the mighty MAGA Lions. I cleared out our garage, and I was afraid that they wouldn't fit, but they fit in perfectly in the garage. So we'll be sending out the mighty MAGA Lions that have already been ordered very soon. And Kathy and I've talked about this a lot. We got
to box them, wrap them up, and we're putting a personal note with everyone So, that takes a little time.
Well, yeah, the Mighty Mega line, I'll just tell you guys how it came to be. I had talked to Kathy. I wanted to do something, and then Kathy and I were talking, and I don't want to say what, because Kathy had an idea for something which we may do down the road, so I don't want to say what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And the lion popped in my mind.
Yeah, the line was your idea.
And Kathy and Dee, who we partnered with, Dee's one of our moderators in the chat, came up with the Mighty Mega Lion name.
Right.
And
we designed it. Dee and I designed it
and Dee
together.
and Kathy designed the lion, and he's got a MAGA hat on and everything, and it's really cool.
It's really cute.
And
the face is adorable.
I know a lot of you guys have seen me show I had the original, the Mighty Mega Lion, because they made one for us to approve or not, and from the design, and the one that you guys see me show on YouTube is the first one off the line. And we approved it, and then they made them all, and we just had them delivered today. And the Mighty Mega Lion, of course, is based on Trump and inspired by Trumpy Bear. I mean, I have Trumpy Bear, I like Trumpy Bear. The idea was inspired by Trumpy Bear. But the Mighty Mega Lion is our endeavor, me and Kathy and Dee.
Right.
They're available exclusively through us, and
MightyMegaLion.com.
Yeah, and
it's a stuffed animal. It's cute, and it sits up. Like, it's the way it is. It's like sitting like a lion sits. So you can sit it up on a bookshelf or anywhere. It just sits up perfectly straight, but it's very cuddly. It's like a stuffed animal, but it's very cuddly and soft. And so it's good for kids, adults. It's a great Christmas gift.
A great gift.
Put them right
Christmas.
under the tree. It'd be fantastic. They'd love it.
So this is the first time we have done an entrepreneurial thing like this. And, there's an investment in this because we had to pay for them all in advance,
right? Plus boxes,
and
shipping,
and all of this, and it's a big expense. And we had to buy a special printer for the labels to print up to mail them out. It's a big endeavor.
Investment.
It's a business. Hey, listen, it's a business endeavor. We've never done something exactly like this where we had a product custom made because. We came up with the idea, the three of us. We designed it, and we
it's pretty
had
exciting.
It made.
Yeah,
and that's a pretty exciting thing because a lot of times, like I'm involved in a lot of different endeavors and things like this. You guys hear me talk about all the time, but this is the first time that we've actually come up with a concept for a product, had it designed, had a prototype made to approve or disapprove. And then had them manufactured, and now we're sending them out, and it's
we couldn't have done it without
exciting.
Dee because this is her business.
Yeah.
So when Brian and I were talking, I said because Dee's one of our Patreons, she's also a moderator, and we're very friendly with her, and we've been friendly with her for a while. And I said, Dee makes these mascots and things for teams and sports teams and things. I said, what if we came up with something like Trump themed, like Trumpy Bear, but a little smaller, a different type of animal, obviously. And I thought the lion. And when I told Dee you wanted the lion, she's like, "That is perfect." And it is
because Trump's a lion.
Because that was Brian's idea. Exactly. Mm-hmm. So it's really, really cute. And we've had quite a bit of orders, but we only have a certain number, and that's it. And depending on how well it does, we don't know if we're going to reorder more. We'll see how well this batch goes.
Or come out with some new designs,
and then maybe we might
products.
upgrade it, change it, or keep it the same, or come up with a different idea. But we want to sell this inventory first. We just don't have the storage, obviously, in our garage. But we'll see how well it does. But we have sold quite a few, and we're going to, like Brian said, start shipping out those hopefully by mid next week. We have to box everything and make it all nice for you guys, and put the labels on it, take it to the post office. So it's it's exciting. I'm excited about it.
I know you guys have been hearing me talk about the Mighty Mega Lion for a long time.
They're here.
And they just were delivered today. And when they delivered them, first thing I did, of course, is open up the boxes and make sure everything was okay before the truck left.
They came like a month early. We weren't expecting them till around Halloween. So,
that's right.
They have to get manufactured and made. So they got here a month early, which is great.
Yeah, so they're now available in stock.
Yep.
They are limited edition, and the Mighty Mega Lion is available only through us at MightyMegaLion.com. All right, MightyMegaLion.com.
I wanted to give a Luna update. Luna's sitting here, our rescue cat, and she got fixed yesterday, finally.
Oh.
We had to do it because she has been going into heat every 2 weeks and meowing and keeping us up all night long. So we finally took her in, and she got the cone on her head, but she's sitting here with me, and she's being so good. Of course, she's on pain meds, so that might help. But she came home yesterday. She hasn't been meowing.
Yeah.
She hasn't been she doesn't seem to be in pain or anything. I thought she was going to be meowing and crying. She's very calm, and she's actually purring.
Yeah.
And eating, and so she gets the cone off next week. Her stomach looks good. Everything looks wonderful. So,
Well, she was going into heat every 2 weeks.
and we did get her chipped while we were there. We got they chipped her too.
Yeah.
So we wanted to do that. So she's officially part of the household now because she's been chipped. But so she's doing wonderful. She's laying here. She finally fell asleep, and the cone. It's kind of funny because she likes to jump around. Obviously, she's young. And crawl into things. She likes to crawl under the bed and in the closets. And the cone just keeps hitting the walls, and she can't quite get to where she's trying to figure that out. But
Yeah.
she's doing well, though.
Listen, we're out of time for today, but we will be back next time. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Thanks for listening, everyone.
From author Scott Lomack comes a novel that's a thrilling journey filled with espionage and intrigue. Main Street, USSR, the Linen 5 Spy series, available on Amazon. Join in uncovering the secret recipe for admission into Main Street, USSR. Are you ready? Here's what you'll need. Ambitious or orphaned East German and Russian children, seasoned KGB and Stasi spy masters, a clandestine KGB spy school hidden away in Ukraine. Teach them how to act, speak, and live like Americans. Ship them to the United States and wait for the moment Mother Russia activates them. In Main Street, USSR, you'll follow one class from 1962 until they graduate in 65. Then fast forward to 1989, a year that would change history forever. A potential defector offers up names of the Linen 5 sleeper agents who had operated in the United States for decades. The collapse of the Berlin Wall brought 6 individuals out of the shadows. Spies who had worked in secrecy for 24 years, now exposed to the world. These were the individuals who had been part of the Cold War, remaining undetected until that fateful moment. Notable alumni include a name that might surprise you: Vladimir Putin. Main Street, USSR, the Linen 5 Spy series from author Scott Lomack is available on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover editions. Order your copy right now.